Hi, we're about to get started on the Texas State Board Esthetician Practical. Now, before we get started, I want to just go over some refreshers. So for day of the test, all of my bags that are labeled wet towel need to be wet. My mannequin is also going to need to have eyeshadow and lipstick on. And whatever you guys do, don't use waterproof makeup. Don't use your 16-hour long wear lipstick, something that can be easily removed. Also, reminder to make sure that your bag is labeled. We have it labeled pre-sanitized implements. Now, as far as your dress code is concerned, you do need to have closed-toed shoes on. So let's talk about your wardrobe day of. Day of, we want to make sure that we're wearing closed-toed shoes, no sandals. We need to make sure that we are having our hair up and you are able to wear something appropriate. Now keep in mind, during our screening protocol during PSI, they're able to tell you to inspect your arms, lift off any sleeves, pull up your pant leg. They can tell you to take off your glasses and to look and see if you are hiding any cheating materials. It is not worth it. Leave it at home. If you do get caught cheating, they can actually turn your test into TDLR and see if you are still eligible to take your test. So make sure that you are just paying attention to this here and don't even try to cheat. Hi, and welcome to Ann Webb Skin Institute's bag packing video. Before we get started, let's go over some resources that we have provided for you. The first thing is going to be our bag packing list. This is all the shopping that you will need to do before packing the bag today. Everything is labeled, and there are even some few options for you guys, whatever will be more helpful for you. Everything is also labeled in a way that if you need to repack your bag after going through the mock practical, you will know exactly what goes in each service, and you also have what labels need to be provided to each one. The next thing I want to go over from you is going to be this stack of labels that we have released for y'all. Now you're going to see that a lot of the labels here, there's duplicates. There's a couple toners, some pre-sanitized implements, and that's totally normal. That is just a part of what each section is going to include. You will also see the ones that are underlined. The ones that are underlined are going to be for each section. So make sure that when you are organizing your labels, all of the same ones are put together and anything that is different is off to the side. Hi, and welcome to Ann Webb Skin Institute's bag packing video. First, we're going to cut and organize our labels for easy grabbing. And this is all based off of our bag packing list that we have sent out. So everything is going to be done in order of application, and all of the material that I have grabbed this from is from PSI Exam Center, which is the third-party testing for TDLR. So for our first section, we are going to grab out a gallon-sized bag and we're going to label it pre-examination setup and disinfection. After we have labeled our bag, the first thing that we are going to do is we are going to label our trash can. Our trash can is the hamper. We use this at Ann Webb Skin Institute for easy removal of our used materials. Once you have that labeled somewhere on the outside where it will not go away, you can go ahead and stick this in your gallon-sized bag. After that, you are going to take out a small snack-sized bag. You are going to label it trash bag. Just like this is our trash can, we need to label our trash bag. Once you have that label, go ahead and fold your trash bag the best that you can. Stick it in your little sandwich bag, zip it up all the way, and then throw it in that gallon-sized bag. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your clips. They could be chip clips, they could be hair clips, they can be clothespins. They just need to be some type of clip. You're going to at least take 4 of them, stick them in that gallon-sized bag. The next thing you're going to add is you're going to add a stack of paper towels. If you are a perfectionist, have plenty of paper towels, at least 20 of them. If you're using a paper towel roll, go ahead and take each paper towel off and then fold them in it. And now we're going to take a bottle. It needs to be a spray bottle and it needs to be labeled EPA registered disinfectant. You have to have EPA inside of it, and you're gonna throw it in that bag. Now the last thing that is going inside of this bag is going to be a hand sanitizer that is labeled hand sanitizer. Once you have all of those things, you're gonna go ahead, you are going to zip up the bag, but we are not done. So the next thing that we need to do is we are going to take our bag, we are going to put it in order of application, and then we are going to take out a hand sanitizer. It should be your second one, and we are going to label it somewhere on the outside, and we are going to stick it on an outside bag. So it has to be covered with a zipper, but it needs to be somewhere on the outside, so when we begin our test, we can clean our hands to go inside of our clean, pre-sanitized implements bag. Moving right along, our next service is going to be the cleansing service. So go ahead and label this bag cleansing service. Once you have done that, you're gonna go ahead and you're going to grab out another bag. It could be a sandwich bag, and we're going to label it pre-sanitized implements. Once you have labeled it, you're going to stick 6 to 8 cotton rounds or 2x2s inside of it, and you're going to zip it up. Once you have it zipped, you're going to place it inside of your gallon-sized bag. You're gonna move on to your next bag. Your next bag is going to be labeled wet towel. You're going to take one of your towels out, stick it in your bag, zip it up, try and get as much air out of them as possible, and then stick it in your gallon-sized bag. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your standalone towel and you're going to put it straight into the gallon-sized bag along with your headband and your shower cap. Now, I like to fold my shower cap up. I like to take my headband and I like to roll it inside of it and stick that in the gallon-sized bag. The next thing we need to do is we need to take out a product, and we're going to label it eye makeup remover. This has to have eye makeup remover inside of it. Once you have that filled, you're gonna throw it in your bag. The next thing is going to be your cleansing product. Now this can be a cleanser, this can also be lotion. Once you have that bottle labeled cleansing product, you're going to go ahead and you're gonna stick that in your gallon-sized bag. And then the last thing we have is a bottle that is labeled toner. Now the toner can be water, so that's all this is right here. Once you have it labeled, you're going to stick it in your gallon-sized bag. You are going to zip it up all the way, and then you are going to put this bag right behind your first bag, which is your pre-examination setup and disinfection. The next section is the steaming service. In a gallon-sized bag labeled steaming service, I have just 2 items. I have a bowl and I have a bag labeled wet towel with a wet towel inside. The next section is the massaging service. In a gallon-sized bag labeled massage service, you're going to have a bag with a wet towel labeled wet towel. You're going to have a bottle with massage product, and that's what it's going to be labeled, massage product. It does need to be a lotion. Then you're going to have a bottle labeled toner. The last thing that I have inside is a small bag labeled pre-sanitized implements that has cotton rounds or 2x2s inside of it. The next service is mask and moisturizing. So in a gallon-sized bag labeled mask and moisturizing service, you are going to have a bag that is labeled wet towel. You'll have a wet towel inside of it. You're gonna have a bag that is labeled pre-sanitized implements. It's gonna have cotton rounds or 2x2s and have a nice fan brush or a mask applicator. The next thing you're gonna need is a bottle with mask product inside of it. It does have to have some type of pigment, some color to it. Here we use our charcoal calming green tea mask. The next service is the waxing service using soft wax. So in a gallon size bag, go ahead and label your section, waxing service using soft wax. And then you're going to take out a bag that is labeled pre-sanitized implements. It is going to have cotton rounds, it's going to have a couple pairs of gloves, it's going to have your waxing stick and your pellet. Next, you're going to take out a bottle, you're going to label it antiseptic. The second bottle is going to be labeled post-wax product. And then your third container is going to be a product of Vaseline. If it's small enough like this, you can go ahead and label your container with simulated wax product. If not, you can put it in a smaller container and then label it with your label. The first thing that we are going to label is a regular plain bag. It's going to be labeled biohazard bag, and we are going to put another bag inside of it so we can double bag our waste later on. The next thing is you're going to take a bottle. You're going to label your bottle antiseptic. And the last thing that is inside this gallon bag is a bag that is labeled pre-sanitized implements. Inside of it, you have dental bibs, Band-Aids, cotton rounds, and gloves. And just remember, if you ever see a bag that is labeled wet towel, the towel does need to be wet day of your test. All right, and now I'm going to have our proctor run through the mock practical.
Welcome to PSI. Congratulations on passing your written examination. The proctor for this session will read the instructions. Keep time for each section and can only answer general questions that do not direct or instruct you in any way concerning this examination. The raters are responsible for observing and rating your skill performance and are not allowed to converse with candidates except to provide a general salutation. Once the examination begins, you may place all of your supplies in your assigned workstation. You may not observe the work of other candidates. Please do not speak or assist other candidates during the examination. While you may use the restroom during the examination, please keep in mind that the time will continue to elapse and any instructions you miss will not be repeated. Only one candidate at a time may leave, so please return as quickly as possible. Does anyone have any questions about the instructions I have just read to you? The first section is pre-examination setup and disinfection. You have 10 minutes to unpack your general supplies and prepare your work area. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin.
First thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my outside hand sanitizer. My hands are dirty. So I'm going to first open up our bag, put in a pump of hand sanitizer, put it back, zip up my bag all the way, and now I am sanitizing my hands and my wrists. Now that I have clean hands, I can go into my bag, and as you can see, my strap is around my shoulders. My hands are free. And before I go in, I want to just show you the difference of what this looks like, right? My bag has now fallen onto a floor that is dirty. So by having that strap around me, I can swing it around me. I can do whatever I need to. My hands are free. So I'm going to go into my bag and I'm going to grab out that first section, the first bag that we made together. It's labeled pre-examination setup and disinfection. When I go inside of it, I am going to grab a paper towel and I'm going to grab out my EPA. I'm going to zip my bag up all the way and I'm going to place this under my arm. The first thing we need to do is we need to clear our area. The floor is dirty, my table is dirty. So I cannot put any of my stuff in my area yet. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to EPA. Now, depending on where your layout is, you just need to EPA your surrounding area. So I'm going to EPA the table, I'm going to EPA the legs of my table. And if there was something behind me that is a station, I'm going to turn around and I'm going to EPA that area. Once I'm done, I'm taking my paper towel and I am wiping down wherever I have sprayed. And I like to think about this like cleaning your kitchen. When you go in to clean your kitchen, you are first wiping your counters down, getting all those crumbs to the floor, and then you sweep up your floor. We don't clean our floor, clean our counter, and leave crumbs on the floor after cleaning. So it's that same thought process. So I've EPA'd, I'm wiping everything down, the legs, whatever's behind me. Now I have trash. I don't have my trash can built yet, but if you wear your scrubs, you've got pockets, stick it in there for right now. Now that my table is clean, I can place my bag on my table. Now I just need to sweep my area. Now PSI says that they will provide a broom and a dustpan. If there is a bunch of you guys taking the test and we have only 10 minutes to do it, I tell my students to mock sweep. So this could be sweeping, this could be sweeping, making sure that I'm making eye contact, that they can see that I have physically swept up my area before continuing. Now that my floor is clean, I'm going to take my bag and I'm going to place it right underneath my table. And now I can go and I can start building my trash can, taking out all of my supplies, my EPA, my hand sanitizer, my stack of paper towels. And now with the hamper, please be careful that this does not open up and smack you. It has happened to me previously. So now that I have it open, I am just going to take out my trash bag, put my trash bag inside of my hamper, and then I'm using my clips to secure it on every side of my trash can, and I will show you here in just a moment. So my trash can has the clips, it has your trash bag. Now I can start throwing away my stuff. Don't forget the trash that's in your pocket. We're now done. We need to put that away, throw it away, don't leave it in your pocket. And then we're going to sanitize our hands. We're going to step back and we're going to put our hand up, indicating that we have finished this round.
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. The next section is cleaning service. Please perform a cleansing service. You have 14 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 7 minutes remaining. You may begin.
Okay, so at this moment, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to sanitize my hands and my wrist. And now if you are that perfectionist like I am, and you're trying to get your max amount of points, after that first section, I suggest EPAing before and after each section. That way we are treating each section as a brand new client, making sure that we are not able to cross-contaminate. So with that being said, I sanitized my hands. I'm now gonna take my EPA and I'm cleaning my area once again. I'm taking that paper towel, I am wiping down my area, I am throwing that away. I'm gonna save it up here. Okay, as I go down below, I am just going to grab out that next bag. So that next bag is labeled cleansing service. And this is also the section that I am introducing my client. So first thing, I'm going to take out all of my products. Everything that's inside of this bag, I want to lay out. I also want to lay things out in order of application, so it makes it really easy. I have 10 minutes to do this section. That is so much time. So there's no reason as to why you can't stop. Think it through. Know that you have to use everything inside of this bag that they have made, and that there has to be an order. So I have finished everything from my cleansing service bag. I'm gonna throw that away, get it out of my way. The next thing I'm doing is I need to first drape my client. Now, please, 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 please remember, we do not sit on our clients. So when we are pulling out our mannequin head, we might want to automatically put it to where the face is facing us, but that's not right. So go ahead, make sure that we flip her the other way, just like we would with a client. And the first thing we need to do is drape her. So what we're doing is we're taking our towel, we are draping right around her neck, and then we are going to take our headband and our shower cap. So here I like to use the headband to wrap around my shower cap, because the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna place my headband on my client. When I am placing her head draping, I do not want her the shower cap to touch the ears. They should not be touching the ears. And then our shower cap should not touch the skin. And that is to make sure that we are able to have enough space for us to do our facial, our treatment today. So you can see it is not touching the ears. The shower cap is not touching the skin. Now I want you to think about this being a real person. We have touched her hair. We need to sanitize our hands. And now remember, she has eyeshadow and she has lipstick on. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to take out our cotton rounds. All right, so for removing our eye makeup, we need 1 cotton round per eye. And when we remove eye makeup, we remove in a down and out motion. Down and out, down and out. Your proctor might want to see what makeup has been removed. So please make sure you're using a makeup remover that actually removes makeup. Now, what we need to do is, now that I've done 1 eye, I'm going to throw that away and I'm going to grab another cotton round and I'm going to put more eye makeup remover on it. And I'm going to go to the other eye in a down and out motion. Down and out. Remember, she might walk around, see if we've removed any pigment. I'm going to throw that away. My next cotton round is going to be for lipstick. We're going to use a brand new cotton round and we're doing middle out, middle out. Again, middle out, middle out. Check, make sure we've removed it and throw it away. Now, I like to think about it as if she had maybe pink eye or ocular herpes in 1 eye. I'm not wanting to spread it from 1 eye to the other or spread it to the lips. I'm using a brand new 2x2 or cotton round to remove all of that. The next thing, now that I'm done with eye makeup remover, I'm gonna throw that away. I'm going to grab our cleansing product, put a good amount in my hand. When I have a good amount, I can throw this away. And it does not matter how I apply the product, they just need to see me apply it. Now, that is gonna be the hardest thing for this whole test, is making sure that they watched you do it. So I'd say be awkward, be weird. This is the one test that it's okay to stare. Now that we have applied the cleansing product, we now need to remove it. I have my wet towel. I'm going to temperature check it. And I am going to apply it to the face. Now, I like to still wrap her face with a towel. It does not say you have to, it just says to remove the cleansing cream. But because she's a mannequin and she doesn't absorb any of that product, I do feel like it is easier when you wrap the face, do a couple of those compressions, and then take off that surrounding product on the face. They are not looking for a specific towel technique when removing. They are solely just making sure that all of that product has been removed. Now keep in mind that my draping may have moved, so you're wanting to check both sides that it looks good. And then the last thing that we have is our toner. So we're going to put some toner. If I wanted to, I can do 1, I could do 2 cotton rounds. It does not matter how it is applied. You just need to make sure that you do it. So once that's done, I'm throwing away everything else that was on my table. I am checking my draping, and I'm probably even gonna change this one just a little. Even though it was fine, it could get messed up in that next round, and I would rather be on top of it before it does fall. If it falls, we can end up losing points for not maintaining that draping. So you really wanna make sure that it always looks good. If for whatever reason it does fall back during that section, you need to stop what you're doing, hand sanitize, fix your draping, sanitize your hands again, and then continue whatever you were doing. All right, and the last thing that we need to do before we finish, we've checked our draping, we need to EPA our area. And then we need to sanitize our hands, step back, hand up.
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is steaming service. Please perform a steaming service. You have 7 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 4 minutes remaining. You may begin.
All right, so at this point, we're going to sanitize our hands and wrist, make it real dramatic, draw it out, especially if you're taking this test with 14 other girls, students. We want to make sure that they're seeing us. So if you have to make those dramatic, do so. And when in doubt, sanitize it out. Think about what you're doing. So I've sanitized my hands. I'm going to EPA my area. Now, of course, we wouldn't EPA around our client, but we also wouldn't do our state board like we do it now on a client either. So now that I have sanitized, I have EPA'd, I'm going down into my kit and I'm gonna grab that steaming section bag. Now this bag has just 2 items. My steaming service bag, I'm gonna throw that away because I don't need it. And then I have a bowl and I have a wet towel that is wet. So I'm going to take my wet towel out. I am going to roll it into my bowl and I am going to wring it. They need to see the wringing motion, but they do not have to see water in the bowl. They do need to see this happen. Now, when we get to the steaming portion, we need to open up our towel. We need to temperature check. And then we are wrapping their face, making sure that they can breathe. That she is getting a good steam. They need to make sure, right, that she can breathe, and also that we're not just like squeezing and just hurting our client. Just gentle little compressions. Once you've made that eye contact, you don't even need to remove any product or anything. All you have to do is remove it from her face, throw it into your trash can, check your draping, it looks good. I'm going to EPA my area. throw that away. And I'm going to sanitize my hands, step back, indicating that I have completed.
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is massage service. Please demonstrate massage manipulations. You have 17 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 9 minutes remaining. You may begin.
All right, same thing. We're gonna sanitize our hands and our wrists. We're going to EPA our area. And then I'm gonna go into my kit and I'm going to grab the massage service. Making sure that I'm zipping up my kit every single time and all the way. If you leave your bag open at any point in time, you can be deducted on points. So make sure as soon as you open up your kit to grab out your bag, you are closing it all the way. So first I'm gonna start laying out all of my supplies. I have my wet towel, I have my cotton rounds, I have my massage product, I have my toner. For my pre-sanitized implements, I'm just going to grab out one cotton round because that is really all I need. The rest are extras just in case I drop it. And the first thing I'm going to do is we're applying our massage product. I'm going to grab a good amount and I'm going to throw that away. Now they're looking for 3 different massage manipulations. They're looking for effleurage, they're looking for petrissage, and they're looking for tapotement. Now, my suggestion when going into the massage section, go straight into effleurage. Do not try and add your products because what if they think that this was your petrissage? I want you to immediately start those light feathering motions. I like to do it on the cheeks. You can even bring it up to the forehead. And I want you to make eye contact. I don't need to look at my mannequin to do this massage movement, right? I see the eye contact, I'm moving into petrissage, right? That kneading motion, I'm doing it right on the jawline. I don't need to look at her for that. I need to look at my rater, make sure that I'm getting those points. That last thing, once you make that eye contact, tapotement. That's it, just those little piano movements. But making sure that they see what you do is going to be so important. Once we have finished, we are taking out our wet towel. I am going to temperature check it. And I am going to remove that product. Again, just small little compressions definitely help remove it. Does not matter how you take off the product. Once we're done, I'm throwing that away. Last thing that I need is my toner. I have done with the pre-sanitized implements. I can throw that away. I want to check my draping. My draping still looks good. I'm going to EPA my area. Again, treating every section like it's a brand new service, brand new client. Throw that away. Then I'm going to sanitize my hands, step back, hand up, indicating that I have finished.
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is mask and moisturizing service. Please perform procedures for a mask and moisturizing service. You have 17 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 9 minutes remaining. You may begin.
All right, so we're going to sanitize our hands and our wrist. We're going to EPA our area. We're gonna wipe it down. My draping still looks good, but I'm constantly trying to think about that. Same thing with my bag. I am grabbing out that next service bag. I am shutting it completely to make sure that I do not lose any points. We have our wet towel, we have our toner, we have our mask product, we have our moisturizer, we have our pre-sanitized implements. I'm gonna throw this bag away. Since my hands are still clean, I am going to take out my 2x2s, my cotton rounds, my fan brush. I'm gonna zip this bag back up, and if I need it, so let's say I accidentally drop both of these, I would need to sanitize my hands, go back into my bag and grab out additional supplies and close it back up. That's all the extras are there for, is in case you need more. If you drop these, you can go back in with clean hands. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to add our mask product. You can also throw in an extra bowl if you would like. You can also, since our hands are clean, you can put it on the back of your hand. You can put it inside of your hand to disperse your product, because you cannot squeeze onto this brush. By that squeezing motion, it's kind of like drinking. You will get some of that backwash or product that has touched your hand will go back in, so that would be contaminating. Also, if I leave my cap open, I will lose points. So if I squeeze this on my hand or any of my bottles, I need to immediately close them, or else I can lose points. So let's say we squeeze it on the back of our hand, get a good amount, throw out that bottle, and we need to apply our mask in upward motions in a nice, even layer. That's why I like that our mask is a charcoal color, because I can even add a little amount and you will be able to see it. So again, upward motions. I'm going up, 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 even up the lip. Nice even layer. Once I am done, I'm throwing my brush away. I am grabbing my wet towel. I'm throwing the bag away. I am temperature checking. I am adding that towel. All right. So once I have added that, those small little compressions, like I said, they definitely help. And then we are removing that remainder product. And instead of wasting these paper towels to clean off the mask on the back of my hand or the inside of my hand, I use the towel. So as I finish removing that product, I kind of do this motion, take off the product on my hands. Now I'm moving in with my toner. So can be one-handed, you can have 2 cotton rounds, does not matter. We have finished using our products. I'm gonna throw those away. Last thing is our moisturizer. You only need a little bit of this, and then we are going to apply it to our client. Remember, I'm not doing anything without them watching me. We have finished, don't need those anymore. I'm checking my draping, it looks good. I'm gonna EPA my area. Throw that away, sanitize my hands, step back, hand up.
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is waxing service using soft wax. Please apply a simulated wax product to one eyebrow. You have 14 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 7 minutes remaining. You may begin.
So we're going to start by sanitizing our hands. We're going to EPA our area. And we're going to go into our kit. We're going to grab out the second to last bag. So our bag is pretty empty at this point, so make sure that you're grabbing the right bag. And it is going to be a little bit harder to zip up your bag completely because it's so light. So please take your time doing that. And then we're going to start setting up our supplies. So we know we need to first use antiseptic. The last thing we're going to use is our post-wax product. And then in the middle, we're using our simulated wax product. I'm going to throw out this bag, and then I'm going to start grabbing out supplies. So I know I'm going to need at least 2 cotton rounds, one for my antiseptic, one for my post-wax. I also need Pellin, I need a stick, and I need gloves. Now I have extra supplies if needed. Zipped up my bag in case I need to go back. So at this point, it's a little bit different than how we do things in the industry because it doesn't ask you to temperature check. The requirement is to sanitize your hands, and then the next thing is wear gloves. So that's exactly what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my gloves on. And then it wants us to prepare the eyebrow for service, which means I first need to remove any dirt or debris that might be on my client's skin before applying my wax. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm using that antiseptic. I am going to cleanse her eyebrow. Remember, they said only 1 eyebrow. So let's make sure we only do 1. You will see others that will do 2 brows. Listen to the instructions and do what is asked. So I've got my antiseptic on my cotton round. I'm gonna throw that bottle away. I won't need it again. And now what I'm doing is I am cleansing the brow. Now what I will say, since she is a mannequin and she didn't absorb any of that, is get one side of your cotton round wet, keep the other side dry so we can cleanse and kind of pat dry at the same time, just to make sure that my Vaseline will adhere to her brow and it's not too wet. So I'm going to throw away that, and then I'm going to take out my stick and I'm going to take out my jelly. Now they want to now know, how do we apply soft wax? So I'm going to take out a little bit and I am going to put my cap right back on. Remember, I don't want to lose points for not closing my cap. And then I'm going to take my stick. We apply soft wax in a 45-degree with the growth of hair. So in the direction of hair growth, I'm going to throw my stick away. The next thing they need to see is, how do we apply our Pellin? Well, we apply our Pellin with that growth. We do not go back and forth like crazy because that's how we can rip off an eyebrow, right? They want to make sure that we are applying it with the growth. I'm applying it with the growth. Now they need to see me remove it. Now the Vaseline will help it adhere a little bit, but not really. So we remove our wax against. They don't even ask for pressure, nothing like that. So once you have pulled against, you are going to throw your Pellin away. You can throw your Vaseline away. Now the last 2 things I have are my post-wax product and my cotton round. So I'm gonna apply a little bit, throw that away, apply it to the brow. We are done. I can take my gloves off now. We are done with this bag here. I'm gonna check my draping. The draping still looks good. I'm gonna EPA my area. Throw that away. I'm going to sanitize my hands, step back, hand up, indicating that
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. The next section is Blood Exposure Incident Service. Please perform procedures for a blood exposure incident. You have 12 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 6 minutes remaining. You may begin.
All right, so we're almost done. Not quite. So we're first going to sanitize our hands. We are going to EPA our area. We are going to go into our kit, grab out that last bag. Remember, we want to make sure that we're not losing points, so we're zipping up that bag all the way. And then we are coming up top. We're going to start organizing our supplies. So we have our antiseptic. We have our biohazard bag. We have our pre-sanitized implements. And since I do not need this bag anymore, I'm going to throw it away. So remember, with our biohazard bag, we have an empty bag inside of a bag. This is where we're going to put all of our contaminated items. First, we're going to start setting up our area. So I've got gloves, Band-Aids, I've got cotton rounds, and then I've got a dental bib. I'm going to zip this bag up just in case I need some more supplies out of it. And I want you to take your dental bib and I want you to place it on the other side of your client. And I want you to think about it as if your client you were doing a service and all of a sudden they started to bleed. Maybe we dermaplaned their face and we accidentally cut them. How are you going to take care of it? So here, remember, I have cleaned and I've EPA'd my table beforehand. So my area is clean to have supplies. I have my dental bib on this side because I want all of my contaminated items on here. Anything that has come in contact with the blood, I want on my dental bib, and I want to keep them separate. I don't want to accidentally put something clean next to something dirty. So she's gushing blood. The first thing that I need to do is I need to put my gloves on. Anytime that there is blood exposure, we need to be protecting ourselves in wearing gloves. So here, I've got my gloves on. So I have my gloves on. I'm going to take a cotton round and I am first going to add pressure to the cut. Okay. All right, and the first thing I'm doing is I'm adding pressure to my cut. I want to stop the bleeding. Once I have applied that pressure and they have seen me, I am going to pick up that cotton round, put it right onto my dental bib. I am going to grab another cotton round and I am going to clean the cut. And I am going to throw that away. The next thing that I'm going to do is I am going to bandage my cut. And I'm going to throw all of my wrappers away. And now from here, I am going to take my dental bib. I am going to take the inside of my glove and I am going to bag it, open up my biohazard bag. I am going to stick it in that first bag. And I'm going to zip that up. And then I'm going to take that outside. And I am going to zip that. And I'm going to leave that right here. I do not need any more supplies. I have finished all of that, so I'm gonna throw that away. I no longer need my antiseptic. Check my draping, EPA my area. Hand sanitize, step back, hand up. And now with this section, I really want you guys to be aware, we have double bagged it for a reason, to make sure that we're keeping those contaminated items separate.
The last section is end of examination disinfection. You have 10 minutes to complete this section. You will be informed when you have 5 minutes remaining. You may begin.
We're going to first sanitize our hands. And this is where it gets a little different, because now instead of grabbing our EPA, we need to kick our client out. So I'm going to first kind of do it the way that we applied it. So I'm going to take her shower cap off. I'm going to take her headband off. I'm going to take her draping off, and I'm going to throw that away. Then I'm going to take my client and I'm going to kick her out. And now I'm going to take my biohazard bag. I no longer need that. I no longer need this hand sanitizer, so I'm going to throw it away, get it out of my area. I'm going to go down below. I'm going to grab my kit just to kind of get that out of the way too. I don't need it down there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one paper towel, and I'm going to take the rest of them and I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to EPA my table. I'm going to EPA the legs. I'm going to EPA my surrounding area if this is a station. And now I'm going to throw my EPA away. I'm going to wipe everything down. Now I'm going to pick up my bag. And now this bag is empty. But my hamper is nice and full. So I'm going to put my arm through it. I've got my hands still free, and I'm going to mock sweep. Now remember, you have 10 minutes for that section. This has taken me, I think, a total of maybe 2 minutes at this point. You have plenty of time. Now, the last thing that I need to do is I need to go into that outside hand sanitizer. Bloop, get a little bit in there. Zip up my bag. Don't want to lose points on this last section. I'm going to sanitize my hands. I'm going to step back and I'm going to put my hand up, indicated that I have finished the state board practical.
Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination. Candidate, final instructions. This concludes the practical examination. Please be seated at your assigned station to wait for your score report. Barring any computer-related problems, it should only take approximately 5 to 10 minutes to generate the report. Once you have received your score report, you are required to leave the testing facility immediately. Please be sure to read and review your score report in its entirety. Raters or proctors are not allowed to discuss your examination or its results. For questions or concerns, please wait 24 hours and then contact PSI Customer Service. Thank you and have a great day. Candidates, please stop working. All scoring has been completed. We will now proceed to the next section of the examination.